The Elgin Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lally, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is here me, Dean DeLaley. You know me from Dino's Night Out, but we are here today with Fridays with the Finest, Chief Anna Lally. And good morning to you, Chief. How's everything going?
Good morning. How are you?
I couldn't be any better than today.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you. I got my collar off.
Yes.
The pipes are coming back a little bit.
And you feel better, too?
Yeah, I really am. I'm moving around. I got to tell you, my doctor did a great job.
Yeah,
he
it makes
did
such a
wonderful
difference,
job.
right?
Oh,
Just quality of life
and it's night and day.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So what's happening in the Elgin Police Department?
Yeah, so I don't really have any specific topic. There's a bunch of things I want to talk about. Again, anyone can call in if they have any questions for me or anything like that.
And that number, 847-931-1410.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
So first I wanted to just talk about a little bit. We had Erin on the show last week on Friday, and we ended up pushing out. I think it was yesterday. She did a quick video with the police vehicle with the wrapping on it. I want to say thank you to the sponsors for the police wrap. And there's a whole list of them too. But I think when she came here and told her story, and then when you watch this video. I think it's extremely impactful, and I think a lot of times that to recognize just the amount of courage it takes to do that.
Yes.
You're literally sitting here in a room. People are listening to the radio. They're watching on Facebook. It's forever ingrained in history because you can go back and watch it on Facebook and on YouTube. And she was very courageous and sharing her story. And I think that type of person where you're not afraid to say, I went through something, I still am going through something, and I want to be able to help other people because I remember what it felt like in this moment. And so I think I just wanted to mention to people that she does have a fundraising website. It's on her Facebook page. She's doing a fundraiser tomorrow. The information is on our social media. So if you're able to stop by, meet her, you saw her. She's so gracious and she's very.
And this money is not going to her.
No, God, no. It's going to her, to a
foundation.
foundation. Yes.
Right.
No, this is nothing where she's getting any monetary gain from it. And, and you hear what she said, she truly wants to be able to provide information to women who, may not think about this. And she didn't think about it. And then all of a sudden it happened. And I think that's like, when you think about that, that is that's scary. And I think for when you have people who are advocates and who say, you know what, I went through this, here I am today, it can get better, and so I want to just say thank you again to Erin for everything that she does and really acknowledge her, what she did. That's
just her career path. She's been cited for many different things that she has done. In fact, she's agreed to come on to the America First Responders out in Hampshire.
Awesome.
September the 20th, and we're going to have her once again give a little bit about her story, and maybe she could promote the cause a little bit further.
Absolutely.
Because she's a dynamic lady. I mean, strong as strong could be.
Yeah, and I think it just takes a lot of, it's one thing to tell your story to people that you're comfortable with and that are your friends and that they will support you.
Sure.
It's another thing to share your story with the world. And then, hope that, that people she's not doing for any other reason except to help people.
Correct.
Right. So, which is the most purest thing that you could ever ask in a person. So So thank you, Erin. I wanted to mention her fundraiser tomorrow. You can donate to her, show your support and your love to her, and I'm sure she will appreciate it. So also I want to mention, yesterday I promoted Detective Scott St. John. I think he came on the show with me.
I think he was here.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
Maybe about a year or so ago. So Detective Scott St. John, he's been a police officer for, over, I think, 24, 25 years between here and another agency he worked for. The vast majority of a career here, over 20 years, was spent in our major investigations division, our detectives.
Wow.
So yesterday I promoted him, and,
And people don't understand. I mean, unless, you're in it. When people see detective, they think that's like, in some departments, it's a rank.
Yes.
But
Yes.
a detective is nowhere near the responsibilities of what a sergeant has.
No,
is that
very
not correct?
different. I mean, I will tell you, it's different responsibility. So they do have a lot of responsibility. It's different, and I think when you're a detective, it's about
You're managing a
your
case.
case,
Yeah,
right? It's your time, your case. You lead that, you drive that bus. You are completely in, and you have no other outside influence that can sway you, because you're just making your decision. When you become a sergeant, right, which is the first line level supervisor in the Elgin Police Department, you now have a whole bunch of people that you now have to take care of, and a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of different opinions, feelings, thoughts, emotions. And so I think when people jump and make that jump, I always, when I promote people, I meet with them before I promote them. I have a really good conversation with them about, what it's like, what I expect. And then, and give them some words of encouragement, because it's not easy. And I think when you get people saying, Scott is going to be one of the best, there's no doubt in my mind. And I think it's because, one, and I've said this many times, you can be the best detective, have the most knowledge, know all the investigative resources, right? But if you don't have that connection with where you understand the bigger picture of why we're doing police work, or if you don't have that, genuine sense of, I'm here to help people, I'm here to make this better. I think that, you can do the job. I've seen many people do the job. I think it's how well you do it, and I think the best, supervisors that I have seen have come from they were detectives at one point in their career. They've been on either a SWAT team, they've been a detective, because they see the broader picture, right? They see the bigger thing. They understand the layers of, we make this decision, what happens 5 days down the road.
Sure.
So congratulations to Detective Scott St. John, now Sergeant St. John. And I'm
Let's get him in here soon.
Yep, I will. I'm going to ask him.
That'd be great.
Well, I was going to ask him today, but I figured I'd give him a break,
Yeah.
He I'm sure he would have come on, but I said, yeah, let's give him a little bit of a break. So congratulations. Next is so Matt Vartanian, Detective, well, now Sergeant Vartanian, and Andrew Houghton, Detective Houghton, right? The rock stars of the Elgin Police Department. They are leaving today for Denver, and they're going to a conference called CrimeCon. And it's a huge conference, and it's basically all true crime. People go there to learn about, all things true crime and network. And so they are there because tomorrow they, are one of 3 people that have been nominated for America's Greatest Detective, I think is the title of the award. We did not nominate them. This was a third party that nominated them, that, made, let us know that they were putting this nomination in, which I think is one of the best, because it's, it's not us self-promoting. And that's not why we did the Cold Case Unit, the podcast. That's, that has nothing. This is just the bonus, right? This is, but very not unexpected, I think, because once you see the work that they do, I think that it was a natural thing that this would happen. But they're not in this for the accolades or the praise or anything like that. But so tomorrow, myself and a couple of the supervisors are going to be flying out early in the morning
for support.
To support them. We're going to fly into Denver, and then it's a quick trip. We're in, and then we leave Sunday morning early. So, I saw Matt. He works night shift now. And so I saw him yesterday morning when I was coming in, and he's on his way out. And I said, "Hey, we're going to go pick up your award on Saturday, right?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm like, you're going to."
And they're humble guys.
They are very humble,
and I think that's what made them the success that they were, because of the way their humility and the way they were able to speak to the people.
I mean, I think that the people that they are competing against, great. I want to, give my congratulations to them. There's a detective, I think, out of California, and then a retired detective, maybe from Florida, and they had some certain cases. And so it's just great. The nomination itself is great, so I want to
Nomination, they already won.
Exactly.
Especially with your department.
Exactly.
Look at that.
It's a huge, it's a huge honor. And I think, when they do win, because I'm a very optimistic person, I think it's just another, thing where it brings light to why we're doing this, and truly, over 40 cold cases the Elgin Police Department still has. And, the goal is to expand that unit. I'm adding another detective in the next few months to that unit. Yes. I'm hopefully going to eventually, continue to expand that unit. And the goal, though, of this is, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever, the Elgin Police Department doesn't need a cold case unit. I mean, that's the plan.
Chris Hill is the newest guy.
Yes. So Detective Hall.
Hall
is the newest detective. And then we just opened up a position. So we're going to add another, because this is the thing too. Some of these cases are, 40 years ago, 30 years ago.
Sure.
If people are in their 20s and their 30s and now they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, we are on a time crunch here. And so what you would hate to do is sit there and say, we didn't dedicate the time or the resources, and now it's too late. Because there's a very finite amount of time to get to talk to some people, and hopefully that they're still around, because you would hate for you to open up a case file 5 years from now and say, oh God, this person passed away a year ago, right? So that's, to me, is that the urgency of making sure that the resources are there and dedicating the resources and the timeliness, because that, to me, if I was a family member and somebody said, hey, we just started to look at your case, and we're sorry, we need to ask some questions, and I said, well, the person that you're looking for, my sister, my brother, my parent, whoever, they've passed away, and so what were you guys doing this whole entire time? Right. That's how I would be. I mean, and I'd be very gracious about it, but I would be very to the point.
Your department is progressive. How many other departments have cold case units?
Not
I can't
departments
think of
our
many.
size. I will tell you, it's very rare. There are, I don't know, I think, the Chicago Police Department or New York or even LA, I think they do dedicate, but I'm not sure exactly how they do it. Like for our size, it's very rare. Correct. So, because it's a lot of resources, it's a lot of time, and then you have to dedicate.
Add up the salaries, add up what's going on, and you're just putting them aside now.
Yes.
You're taking 3 officers off the street, which means you have to hire more.
Yep.
But it's, again, good planning on the department's part and good support from your city manager, your mayor, and your council. So.
And that's the thing too, that I do talk about the success of that unit, and the success is just, that word is just used for that good things are happening, right? So, right. But that does not happen without I have to have conversations with my boss, which is the city manager, Rick Kozel. Sure. And I will tell you, he is one of the, I can't say enough great things about him. He is one of the most genuine, down to earth, respectful, absolutely smart people that I've ever met in my entire life. And he is so supportive, and that doesn't mean that him and I, he's going to ask me a list of questions as I expect him to, right?
Good.
But I have to tell you, a lot of this stuff doesn't happen unless you have a supportive city manager. And then when I go over there and I say, I need X amount of money for this, I need to overhire officers because of this. As long as I give him the why and I explain it, and he loves the department, supports the officers, same thing with the council, right? I need the support of the council when I go in front of them and I say, I need more officers, I need more technology, I need more this. And they have been absolutely great, to give that support and to ensure that, I have what I need so that the department then gives what the community needs. So I always tell people, things that are successful, it's you can disagree with people, you can, it's successful because of people's relationships, that you have great relationships with people that are honest, that are not, I'm not very interested in superficial conversation or relationships.
Let's get to the point and get this taken care of.
Not only that, but tell me what you really think, right?
Correct.
Tell me what your concern is. Tell me, even we were going through things with the community in 2020 and 21 and civil unrest and protests and the police department and police reform. It was very important to just be very, what is it that you need from us? what is it that's bothering you? What is, very rarely people, will say, tell me what's bothering you. Because if I ask you what's bothering you, now I'm committed to this, right? Like,
Well, yeah.
yeah, because now you're going to give me an answer and I'm either going to be like, oh God, now I have to like actually do something. Or, if my feeling is involved in it, now I have to think about like, oh, how am I going to manage? So for me, it's just very like, tell me what is wrong. Tell me what the problem is. And then collectively, I think let's work together because I think that establishes the foundation for a better future, in my opinion. And I have seen it work. I've seen it work with our youth empowerment program. I've seen it work with some of the programs that we do. And I think that we just have to continue with that. There's so much work to do. And there's every now and then, like, tomorrow is a great day to hopefully if Andrew and Matt, either way, they're winners in my mind. It's a great day to
Absolutely.
celebrate them. It's a great day to pause for that moment and just say, you know what, here, like, we appreciate this. And you guys are, it's a big deal for people in their career.
Yeah,
20,
it is.
30 years from now, these guys are going to look back at, oh my God, we did this. Like, and then those are the things that matter in a career.
Yeah,
So
and you just said that. Sometimes as you're doing it, and that's why people in law enforcement, any first responders, most aren't doing it for the accolades,
No.
for the awards. It's the like, wow. It's like, did we really do that?
Yes, that's
when you get
exactly
done
it.
with it. It's like, oh my God, look! And then you're setting the pace, for the next person. Not
Yes.
giving them necessarily a challenge, but you're opening the doors of like, you know what, we could do this too.
Yes.
And you, because of what you've done with your department, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing others starting to do cold case.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
investigations.
Andrew and Matt have gotten a lot of calls from agencies, and they tell me about it. And again, they basically run that unit. They tell me what they need. They I'm there to support them. Their bosses are there to support them, but they're the ones doing the work. It's my. I think when everybody understands their role in something, and there is no ego involved in it.
Yeah.
I think that's when you see the magic happen. And I
But
think
that's a sign of a good manager. You realize you've given them the tools, you've given them the parameters, and they tell you, okay, look, this is what I'm reporting back to you, and you take them for their
and
work.
you just let them fly, right? You
Yeah.
let them do their thing. And so tomorrow we will be out in Denver, and hopefully, we come back with I don't know what it is. It's a trophy. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
We're looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
them in here right away.
Yes,
With
absolutely.
your new detective, that'd
Absolutely.
be great.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention too, so tomorrow at 9 a.m. at City Hall Plaza, 9 a.m. there is the 9/11 ceremony.
Yeah,
So
Patriots Day.
Patriots Day,
Yes.
and I will not be there. Normally I am, and the fire chief, but Commander Lencioni will be taking my part. We usually say some few words of, in remembrance. I think, what's interesting too is, and when you think about, 2001, right? 24 years ago.
Amazing.
There are people that absolutely, there are officers in that I've hired that they weren't even alive, so it's really, to me, it's very important, I think, to acknowledge and to continue to remember what happened on that day. Many, many people lost their lives, first responders, people just going about their daily business, and, a very extremely tragic event that I think, to honor people and just to have that ceremony every year, because as more time passes, I've heard people, and I see less and less people come to these events.
And that's a shame. It really
It
is. And
absolutely is.
that's part of the reason why we came up with America's First Responders, the festival that we do.
Yes.
People don't realize, let's just talk about the Twin Towers.
Yes.
In a building of that size, let's just say the maintenance man or the electrician, they're in charge of X amount of floors, like say they have 6 floors. So if there's an emergency, they're in charge of evacuating people. So even though they don't have a badge on their shirt,
Yep.
okay, they're a first responder because they've stepped into that role to assist others to make their way out.
Oh yeah, I think over 2,900 people, lost their lives that
Yeah,
day.
it was
I think
terrible.
something like that. It's awful. And then, during that time too, when you just think about and what you just said, imagine you're just going to work, right? It's just most people, you get up, get your coffee, it's a routine, right? You're going to work. And
Life's
then,
good, everything's going
yeah,
great.
and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden that happens. And then you think about the people that actually left the building and were able and survived. Like, that's a whole nother thing, what
And then
do
the
they-
police and firemen, again,
Yes.
I say it all the time, they're running in while
Yes.
everybody's running out.
Yes. And
that
then
doesn't
you-
make no sense.
You see
But that's
these
the
people,
job.
and the next minute,
Yeah.
the people that you've worked with for a very long time, they're gone. I think it's a very. The city used to do it on 9/11. This year, we're switching it up because we wanted to see if you do it on a Saturday morning, will more people come
Yeah.
and in attendance? Because it's hard in the middle of a work week, and I think
Sure
they
it is.
recognize that. But if anyone can make it, City Hall Plaza tomorrow,
9 a.m.
and 9 a.m.
I'll be there.
And then, I have about a few minutes here, and I just want to talk a little bit about, give some quick crime stats information. And then I want to talk about a call that we had the other day involving a missing person. And I just want to, make sure that, the community has, this good information. So crime stats, it is September. So in the next few months here, we'll be finalizing our crime stats. And pushing out our annual report. We usually do it the first couple weeks of January. But year to date, we're at 8% decrease in our Group A offenses, which are the most serious offenses. So if we continue on that trajectory, I anticipate us, ending this year on a much lower than we were last year. We'll see. Shots fired. Last year at this time, we were at 47 incidents. Year to date, we're at 17. So that's a 64% decrease.
Wow.
Which is huge. And so, I was just at a Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association meeting on Tuesday night or Wednesday night. And I was talking about it. And, I said, and I realized, when I deliver that news, I always am very cautious because I could be sitting here saying, and I say it all the time, when we were at a high level, low level, we have not changed anything, not done anything differently. We continue to be vigilant in our approach, whether that's education, enforcement, working with our federal partners, getting guns off the street. The officers and detectives have done an amazing job. It's just, this is the nature of crime, right? Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. There's societal issues that the police can't necessarily control.
But I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyhow. And I'm not all of a sudden the, WGN journalist asking you this hard, tough question. But you've been hearing other departments how the statistics and the alleged crime is going down everywhere. Believe me, if you had more than 17, I know your neighborhood, I know the people watching you, they'd be on your butt.
They're always on me, yes.
But there's
I
no
expect it.
difference in the way you're reporting your
same thing.
statistics this year as the
thing.
way you've been reporting them last year.
And I think what's important in that, you're absolutely correct. And I think the point that's not to be missed there is, if you never talk about crime stats except for when it's low, that's a problem. Right?
Correct.
You have to constantly and consistently talk about what's
And
happening in the
you
community.
faced the microphone.
Oh my God!
When you
people-
were at the 47
Yeah,
shots,
I know.
you were here,
Yes, I
and you
know.
were like, and believe me, I saw the
taking
Facebook
calls,
comments.
Facebook, and the thing is, I'm totally good with that. That's part of the. This is, to me, it's very important just to be very upfront with the community and say this. I realize that I'm probably very good at delivering bad news and not really good at delivering good news. I've realized that about myself over the past because when I say it, I'm like, but the thing is that, that's a collective effort. The officers, the mission of the department, our programs, our strategies, our initiatives, and then you couple that with a great community, engaged community, people that care, and that's part of our community engagement, because things that are going now, things that are happening now in a community, if you have not established trust in your community, especially with immigration and things that are going on at a national level, if you have not already established trust, especially in times like this, it's very, very hard for people to believe and trust what you're saying and the words that you're saying, which means you have to, and again, it's not enjoyable when you have to be up front and center and talk about, this is what's happening. It's not necessarily a good thing. That's part of it. And you have to embrace that. And you have to realize, it's always been very important to me. Every month we push our crime stats out. Every time there's a shots fired incident, I got a lot of heat when I first became the police chief. Why are you posting this? This is, my answer was, this has been going on. To me, I'm not going to not tell you guys because I don't feel good about that. I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. I want you, if you get upset with me, I'm good, right? At least we can have the conversation. But I think it's very important that, when you use that word transparency, you have to, good and bad times, right?
Sure.
And the vast majority of the times, yes, I have been here, people call in, social media, I'm the worst police chief ever because shots fired are going up, and it is just part of the nature of this position, and you have to embrace it. To me, it did not matter. What mattered was that the community had the right information, that they knew where to locate it. They knew they could do their own fact checking, and then on top of that, they knew what we were doing to work on it. And that to me was always the mission here. So that, and then we had a missing person call over the weekend. And I wanted to just really mention, when we thank you to the community, because when we post that information out, it's shared hundreds of times over, and that network of people really does help us. And so, that's the leverage and I think the good that comes from social media, because there is a lot of bad that comes from social media.
Oh.
There's no doubt about it. But when you leverage it and you use it for the good, so thank you to our community for sharing, for being engaged. When a missing person happens, it's a whole thing. I mean, it's everything from checklists of, are we doing this, communicating with other agencies, pushing out information through our data systems, using our drones, using our canines, investigative methods. It's all this stuff that's happening on the background. So, I want to reassure the community too that, when the best information, the right information, the correct information comes from the Elgin Police Department's Facebook page. If we're not saying it, it's, I would, not that it's not true, but I would do some fact checking. So whether that's anything where incidents are happening in town, or if you're seeing things happening, check our page out. We're very responsive. Sergeant Gutierrez, who's the PIO, who will be here next week with me. I'd like for him to come on once a month just to give information out too. He's very responsive, very receptive. When that was going on, he's on there answering people, responding to people. Right. So I wanted to just mention that. Thank you to the community for, again, being engaged with us. This is. I think we have over 90,000 followers on our Facebook account. I think Hector's goal was to get to 100,000 at some point, and I think he's almost there. So I think the more people that kind of get involved and see what we do, and then that social network, imagine the reach, 90,000 people, and if each of them share and each of them share, and how many times do they share? You're talking into the millions, right? And that to me,
just like your podcast.
Yes,
you're in upper 5%.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay, yeah,
so,
and that's like globally, right?
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Yeah,
Every
that's
platform.
awesome. Yeah, so again, WR, if tomorrow, if that award happens too, that's it. We share it with WRMN, right?
Thank you.
Guys were.
That's nice that you think of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you did the hard work. We did what we can to support
you guys, and
we're always here to do whatever you need. You know that, Chief.
Absolutely. So with that, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe. There's some events coming up the following weekend. I will be here on Friday with Sergeant Gutierrez to talk a little bit about what's happening. But I hope everyone has a safe weekend, and I'll see you guys on Friday.
Sounds great. And then don't forget, the Chief's not going to be around only because she's going to be supporting her two detectives, Sergeant Matt Vartanian, now Sergeant, former detective, and Detective Andrew Houghton. Both of those are the gentlemen that head up the cold case, and now we have the Detective Hall, Chris Hall.
Yes.
I called him Hill. I apologize, Chris. Don't beat me up.
Now he'll be fine.
And he's a big guy, too. Yeah, they're good guys, and they really are. They've been recording a couple of the sessions already. We put a little thing on. Matt had run something on our show the other day about one of the closure to the first case. Yeah. So it's gaining traction, and it's going to be, I think, another hit. And the detective said it, that they encourage and they want the phone calls, like when they're on and they're in studio, and we'll be sure to announce it earlier in the future here, to let you know there'll be a feature here on our station. Those calls are important. Nothing is taken lightly, and nothing is taken as, I've heard that before.
Yes, no call is too small.
That's right. That's exactly how he says it. Yep. All right, everybody, thank you once again. We were here with Chief Anna Lally. Fridays with the finest. Don't get no finer than Chief Anna Lally. And I will tell you that, Chief, you are definitely exemplary to the surrounding area. 6th largest city in the state of Illinois, so you ought to be proud. All right, everybody. WRMN 1410 right here in Studio 14. Fridays with the finest. We'll see you next week.